I think we can begin now. Good morning to you all. Thank you for joining. My name is Odelia Malka. I work as Chief of Strategy at Argentum Consultant. Together we are here because we have gathered together a lot of entities active in the mobility sector. And we as consultants, we have studied the mobility clusters within Horizon Europe and the calls that are offered as a funding opportunity. We have brought them together. We have selected two panelists to present their activity. And the goal together would be to bring out projects to be submitted to the European Commission. So the content of this meeting, I will give you a short introduction about Argentum Consultant. We'll talk a bit about our methodology and our network. Then I'll explain a bit about Horizon Europe and drill down to the health cluster. I will explain which are the calls we are targeting and the topics we will talk about. Then I will present and introduce two panelists, which are two valuable participants for the project we are going to build. They will explain which call they are targeting and what is their activity that is aligned with those calls. And then I hope we will have time for Q&A in order to establish a certain project, to establish the partnerships and build up a project. So I invite you all, if you have questions or during the presentation, you can write them in the Q&A section. And when we finish the presentation, we will select the question and address the answers. So regarding Argentum Consultants, we are active in the non-dilutive funding for over 20 years. We are part of Freemind Group. Freemind Group is working worldwide, and Argentum is focused on European research and innovation funding. We have several departments, over 150 professionals working in teams. So I'm representing the strategic department, but we have also the consulting department that is in charge of the grant writing, and the business development department. We are building our methodology totally aligned with the European Commission, as we are working with them. And therefore, collaboration is one of the main keywords of our activity. Therefore, we have built up a network. We have a network of clients and stakeholders over the value chain in several fields. As I said, the European Commission is encouraging partnership and collaborative settings. Then we use our ability to bridge representatives from the first, second, and third sector to enhance project implementation and innovation. Regarding our methodology, what we are doing is that we guide the entities throughout the conceptualization of project, through the scientific development up to the industrial stages until we have a product ready for commercialization. We are working with our clients to categorize the partners and bridging their differences. Now today we have two panelists that are representing each one a certain category and a certain kind of partner within the consortiums we want to build up. Regarding Horizon Europe, as you mainly know, Horizon Europe is the next 7-year program after Horizon 2020. The course has not officially published yet, but we have, and you can also have on the net, access to the latest draft of the call. I'll explain a bit how it is built. So Horizon Europe has 3 pillars. We at Argentum are mainly active in pillar 2 and 3. Pillar 2 is mainly what we will discuss together. Pillar 2 is targeting global challenges and European industrial competitiveness. The calls are divided in 6 clusters. We will talk about the cluster that is called climate, energy, and mobility. For the whole Horizon Europe, there are 96 billion euro allocated. For Pillar 2, 53 billion. And I'm sorry, for the climate, energy, and mobility cluster, 15 billion. And the mobility section, I'm sorry, I will take a minute. We are changing seasons here. Okay, so the mobility section has a lot of calls. We will target a few of them. Now, Pillar 3 is called Innovative Europe, is the EAC work program that is mainly bottom-up calls, EAC Pathfinder, Transition, and Accelerator, depending on the stage of advancement. We are also active there. Thank you for your patience. You have the ability to read in the meantime. So those are the selected topics within the mobility cluster, which are, I'm sorry, safe, resilient transport and smart mobility, efficiency, optimization, sustainability, battery performance, human interface technology. I'm sorry, you will read. And regarding the selected calls, I'm really sorry. The 3 first one are definitely calls we want to go for. The 4 other one are calls that our partners have targeted as an interesting call for them. All the calls are for submission in mid-October. So in terms of timeline, we want to get ready with consortium, with kickoff project in the beginning of June. Now I want to present our first panelist, Stefan Rath, CEO of Sitka.
Hi, Odelia, thanks for the introduction. If you can maybe skip to slide 2 already. I'm not sure if I can take over. It doesn't work. Basically, I would like to give a quick introduction of what we do currently, and then I would like to give an introduction of our call and our potential needs for this call. Right now, we are a German-based company. We're producing a last mile delivery vehicle, which is much smaller than the one you see on the current picture. It is made out of basically automotive parts that were put together to form a cargo bike, which makes it much more reliable than any other cargo bike on the market. And now we are planning to develop something that is more like a cargo bike truck, as you can see on the picture, with basically much bigger payloads, much more volume, and much more weight and load capacity you can take. What is very important in this sector is 2 things. First, right now there's many competitors that only work with containers and micro hubs. I don't think that that will be the way to go in the future, because you will need so many containers for your micro hubs, and a lot of smaller delivery companies, they still work with pallets. This is why we want to also include the pallet loading option into this vehicle. And also to make this vehicle even more reliable, as I mentioned, we currently already use automotive parts. We want to continue with this path also for this vehicle, because if you look at the at the logistics companies running these vehicles, they have one thing in mind, and that's the TCO, total cost of ownership for the vehicle. And you need to stress this a lot, because you will compare to cars, and they have very low maintenance. And this is what we will achieve with the attribution of these aspects of the automotive industry as well. Odeya, if you can switch to slide 2. Basically, what is the value proposition of the vehicle? Well, obviously within the cities, you will have blocked cities coming very soon. You will have city limits where you cannot go anymore. You will have areas that are no-go anymore. And with the vehicle, you can do 2 things. You'll be very much able to access anywhere. Yeah, you can go through parks to make your directions also very flexible in a way. You can go on bicycle lanes and drive through parks to go to your destination on a speedy and low-cost operation aspects. What we do is we've already done certain trials with 2-3 partners for this vehicle, and we're now looking to extend our network and also the network of partners to work on this project with. We have very high expertise in production of the vehicle. What we need in addition is expertise in city planning. What we need in addition is some robotics expertise knowledge, to also automate the pallet unloading, and some connections to certain municipalities to connect the vehicle and have a test runs with these vehicles. Well, I think it's pretty obvious, but we cannot stress this enough. The environmental impact of the vehicle obviously is the big solution to lots of problems right now within the European cities. First of all, we all need to have better air conditions. We need to also reduce noise pollution in order to increase health and well-being of all the citizens, especially, and what's even most important, but I think that's also obvious, is we need to cut CO2 emissions further. And with this vehicle, since you can run it on solar panels also, you'll be able to have 0 carbon emissions and have an ecological cargo transportation at any time.
Yeah, so we have discussed with Sitcar, and we have selected the following call that is called New Delivery Methods and Business Operating Models to Green Last Mile and Optimize Road Transport. This call is a 7 to 8 million budget call, while the total budget is 15 million. I'm sorry. Well, we have gathered together the request of this call, and we will invite for collaboration with Sitcar to apply for this call. So now Sitcar will present a bit what is their ambition and project, and what they think would be the additional expertise needed for the project. Stefan?
Yes. Okay, well, basically for this call, we are, one second. Okay, we want to, one second. Okay, basically for this call, as I mentioned before, we want to establish new delivery methods and business and operating models to make the last mile much greener than it currently is, and optimize also the road transport. And also, and this comes with the expertise that we need, we want to make it almost a self-sufficient vehicle through the use of solar panels. Our contribution to this course will be the development of the urban-friendly e-cargo bike. We've already mastered this for a delivery bike, which has a little less load capacity, but we have scaled up the production for this and are also selling it already throughout Germany and Europe. We are also planning to extend this to a cargo and passenger version, which is the use of this call. And we are also planning to extend it into a free float system to a certain extent, so that some people, or that within some cities, it can be a hop on and off solution. What we will need for this is, besides the free float software, also routing and telematics knowledge. We will need software and fleet management knowledge, and also telematics and hardware input for this vehicle. We will also need city planning and policy distributors to help us figure out how to best access any city and deliver this product. And also, at the current market, it's one thing is the most critical, and it's actually the electrical engine of the vehicle. So we will also need a connection to anybody that could help us with support there.
Okay, very good. So after this event, you will all receive a follow-up mail explaining this and inviting you for a collaboration. Now I want to present Itai Harel, CEO of Drive TLV.
Hi, Stefan, very cool. Thank you for sharing. I will be happy to help you in Israel, and we actually have few companies in Israel that can help you with the electric motor. So
cool.
Yeah.
Let's connect afterwards. That'd be great.
Yeah. So nice to meet you all. You can pass to the next slide. I'm Itai Harel, CEO of Drive TLV. We're based in Israel. What we do, we are innovation hub for smart mobility and innovation center. You can pass to the next one. I have 10 minutes. I would try to do it fast and clean. And if you have any question, feel free to stop me. So Drive TLV, we are the leading Israeli hub for innovation, very focused on smart mobility. New prototypes, technology, everything in the mobility ecosystem based in Israel. We're helping Israeli startups to work with international corporates. Next one. We established 4 years ago. We have 4 major areas of interest that we're doing, and I will put more information in the next slides. But we have more than 50 companies that are being part of the Drive family. They raised more than $1 billion since they met us. We have more than 150 ongoing projects, POCs, commercial agreements, etc., between Israeli startups and international corporates. And luckily, we have 4 exits, and I hope in the next month we will have 2 more. Next. So we actually a small team of almost 10 people. Everyone is based from Israel. Most of the team is entrepreneur. You have to be an entrepreneur. Actually, in Israel, it's like the national sports to be a startup. We are opening every second a new startup. Next one. And we have a wide advisory team from the States and Europe. People that coming from big corporates to help us adopt the innovation over there. Next. So smart mobility, it's a big area, and we are trying to take some the mobility companies into the smart mobility. And what is smart mobility? You know, it started from a car, everybody knows, but it goes to smart cities, the drone, the automotive, avion, flying cars, connected cars. In the future, it's going to be the autonomous cars. Everything is connected, and everything is also connected to the big picture companies of the insurance, the communication, the logistics, as Stefan just showed you one example of that, energy, etc. Next slide. So how we do it? So first of all, we're putting a lot of efforts to find the cutting-edge startups. In Israel, we have more than 630 startups that very focused on smart mobility. We are a very small country, if you know. Sorry for that we're doing a lot of noise in the world, but we don't have any OEM, we don't have tier one. So we are focused on technology, and we bring in it basically from the military service, the culture that in Israel it's okay to fail, and you need to stand up and try again. It's a mixture of the culture of people that came from a lot of countries, and they're building a very cutting-edge technology. So we're putting a lot of efforts to find them, but it's not enough. Okay, just to find some solution, we need to find some problems to solve. And we're helping them. We open a living lab, and we'll talk about it in the next slides, to test the technology, not just to speak, but especially to show and to test it before we're showing it to the rest of the corporates, the international corporates. We're working with global corporates, and we're bringing opportunities to a lot of industry players. And in the end goal, the only KPIs that matter for us is commercialization. You know, how many agreements happen between Israeli startups and big corporates, but now we're putting a lot of efforts not only to Israeli startups, but all the startups that in smart mobility, and I hope we'll have some German and European companies in the next batch that we can try to help. Next slide. So we have a program that's called FastLane. It's pretty much very similar to Accelerator, but it's not Accelerator. It's actually a commercialization program, and this is the only focus. We don't have any demo days, mentoring, etc. We're putting a lot of efforts on, building the value proposition for the companies, finding the problem and the solution. We have more than 50 companies that already been part of this program. And the end game is signing a commercial agreement. This is the only KPIs that matter for us, and this is for us, this is the win. Next. And now we just open experiment center, living lab, a POC center. We call it Power, okay, because it's going to give you a lot of power to do that. And we're building it 10 minutes from our office in Tel Aviv. We have a testing ground. We have a few workshops there. We have more than 50 engineers that can support teams. We have trucks, we have buses, we have cars, drones, motorcycle, everything. We are part of one of the Drive. I didn't mention it, but Drive is part of one of the biggest transportation company in Israel. It's called the Meyer Group, and we're getting all the supports of this company. And we're putting a lot of efforts to helping the companies not just to talk, but to show how they building the product and how it can work on a different kind of vehicles or sensors. Next one. And we collaborate with global industry players. We have 9 partners that are sponsors, and we're helping them from Europe, the Volvo cars and trucks. We have Hertz, Honda, NEC, Cox Automotive. It's a big player in the US. Now a new member, we have Novelis, and we have E2ONE, it's telematics company. This is giving the opportunity to the startups, to show themselves and to talk with very key innovation people in one place. And we have a lot of success stories. I want to actually emphasize one. If you can go to the next one, Waker. One second, I will put. So in short, what we're doing, we like to emphasize that the big corporates are the elephant and the startups are the mouse. And we are the dance instructor. We're helping them to dance together in the same rhythm, the same fade. You know, the startups wants to run and, you know, moving fast. And that's the reason the partners and the elephant wants to dance with them. On the other side, we have the elephants, the partners, that we're putting a lot of efforts to expedite, you know, innovation adoption. Everybody talks about, you know, how innovation it's important, but it's very difficult to implement it in big corporates. So we are putting a lot of efforts working with our corporates to do that, from workshop to seminars, bringing them to Israel twice a year before the corona, and, you know, try to help them understand how they can sell and how they can be a champion for innovation in their company. On the other side, the startups, we actually working with them to hone the value proposition, you know, finding, you know, sometimes people building a solution, but there is no problem. And we like to say to them, fall in love with the problem, not the solution. So they need to be agile. They need to understand, you know, maybe their solution is not for the right problem, but they can switch. And we're helping them, you know, understand the market and the problem. Next one. So I want to give one example from the time that I left. It's Waker. This is some success story. Waker and Volvo Cars have been meeting each other around 4 years ago during one of our batches in 2018. And everybody knows Volvo Cars, but Waker, it's a cloud-based platform that unlocking key insights and predictive operational insight in traffic. Actually, they are a traffic management tool, but very sophisticated. And they, in the end goal, they're saving life. And how come? With their AI and their technology, they can spot a car accident and they can call 911 12 minutes before somebody is actually calling to 911 and report about the accident. And you know how much important time can be, and you can save life. So what happened with them? So Waker integrates with all Volvo cars in the US about data that they receive from the car about slippery roads and aviation and hazard lights. And how so? All the cars of Volvo are sending the data to the platform of Waker, and Waker analyze it. And if they see some slippery road, then they send the data to the Waze app. If you know that, it's another Israeli app for navigation. And then the app can alert to other driver that they will come to a slippery road in the next few miles. And this is how you can save lives and, you know, giving some alerts for drivers. So this is what they have done. It's public, so we can speak. A few months ago, they started, and it's a huge success. And now they really want to try to implement it in other countries, not only in the US. And next one. So another example of company that started actually from scanning cars, looking, you know, if you know, the embassy is looking for bombs under the cars, and now those companies realize that their technology, they can detect defects and scratches on car. So they established another one with Volvo Cars a few years ago, and now a year ago they installed their system in the Tuschland factory in Gothenburg in Sweden. And every car that goes out from the factory is scanning in 50 seconds in their technology, and then they can detect scratches or some defects in the new cars that just finished the line, the production line, saving time and saving a lot of money. So that's in a nutshell what we are doing. We are focusing in connecting startups and big corporates, but we have developed a lot of methods in how to implement innovation. We know how to work with both sides. We have the power, the living lab, that we're doing a lot of experiments there and pushing forward technology that will try to help some big mobility problems. Thank you.
Thank you, Itai. Thank you, Stefan. So as you did with Volvo, this is a bit what we did together. We brought here to this event one very innovative technology provider with the green mobility technology. And we bought also Drive TLV that can provide a living lab and POC center, as you call it, a network and a commercialization strategy for project to be implemented. We have also all the attendees here, and we believe that we have here together a very good group to work with. So after all those ideas, we can drill down now to reality and talk about the timeline, how we see it for the next months if you want to be part of this. So we have now this event. After that, we will take about a month and a half or maybe 2 months to to establish a consortium. We will create the partnerships. We will set one-by-one meetings, and I assure you that my voice will be better after this weekend. Then in the beginning of June, we will set up a kickoff meeting for the proposal preparation. We will set up a work plan, establish a budget between the partner, and hopefully by the end of August or September, finalize the proposal, review, submitted, and hopefully a few months later receive the funding and kick off the project. So I will just say that at Argentum Consultants, we don't believe in unrewarded work. So I want you to be aware of the agreement we propose. We have a certain service and commitment we are giving to our clients throughout all the process of conceptualization of the project, building the consortium, and proposal preparation until submission. On the other side, we expect of each of the partner to be committed to the process. We want to give a safety net to all the partners inside, making sure that each partner is valuable, is selected, and is committed to the process. Therefore, we have some fees that are divided in upfront and success fees, and all details will be delivered by mail. So now I want to open up the discussion. From all the registered partners here at this event, we have put here some of your logo. Maybe you're not here. I'm sorry for that. But I believe that we have a good platform to begin to work with and have establish some good partnerships. So now I will invite Ava and also Eitan, that is working with me to help out because of my voice problem. You can please select the question and we will try to address them.
Hi, Odelia. Hi, everyone. My name is Ava. Some of you have spoken to me over email. Nice to see you. At the moment, we don't have any questions in the Q&A box. Oh, I see a question here in the chat from Roman. Hello, guys. Stefan is looking for a partner, but not clear. What is Itai looking for? Itai, that's for you.
So sorry for that, but if it wasn't clear, we're looking for partners to do some tests, to do POCs, and we are bringing not only the facility, we can bring you a network of more than 50 Israeli startups that can maybe solve a challenge that you have.
I think, Itai, I will help out with this question. With the question is quite good, because actually this is part of this work of establishing a project. With the Sitka, we have selected a certain call and defined the expertise we need in order to establish the program. With Itai represent actually an entity that could be fitting to a lot or quite all the project that could be enhanced within the mobility sector. Therefore, with Drive TLV, we have a long list of targeted calls. Therefore, Itai is not able to address exactly the question you need. It is more what Itai is bringing to the project than what he's willing to receive.
Okay, thank you, Odelia, for clarifying that. The next question is, what size consortium are we targeting?
The size of the consortium usually is dictated by the scope of the project, the scope of the budget, sorry. So if we are talking about the call, the targeted call of the last mile, it's a project of 7 to 8 million. So I believe that we will need about 15 partners in the consortium. So it depends. For a project of 5 millions, we will target between 7 and 10 partners, but it depends. The most important thing, it would be to have all the partners that will represent all the value chain and make sure we have a good implementation of the project.
Thank you. Okay, I see like some questions are coming up in the Q&A box now. I invite whoever wants to ask to type them in the Q&A. It'll be easier to keep track. So Natalia is asking, do you envision a need in experts in driver behavior within the project?
And driver behavior, yeah, actually there is a call that is targeting human behavior, human interaction in the mobility. I'm not sure that within the specific call we are talking about it is needed. We will have to analyze it. What I would invite you to do is that after the event, Ava will send an email to you all. You will have the possibility to formulate exactly your expertise, and we will try to build up the puzzle and make sure we address all the requests of the call. And if it's not relevant, then maybe we will direct you to another call.
Thank you, Odelia. So another question from Sven asking Sitka, what is the process regarding confidentiality of this development? And Sven gives an example. Many solutions have been developed 5 times, bought up and never put on the market. And as an example, giving the Peugeot and Toyota trikes. I hope I'm reading that correctly. So Stefan, that would be for you.
Yes, if I understand correctly, I think it's a two-sided question. One side is that we've now kind of presented an idea already, so that I think, I'm not sure if Scania and MAN are actually there, that they could also take up. But nevertheless, you know, just because you present an idea doesn't mean you can execute it and want to execute it. This is why I think it died sometimes with Peugeot and Toyota. And that's why we at once or in the beginning, or we believe in this project, and that we need this project for our cities. So I don't think it will die. Yeah, it's necessary that we come up with solutions for the last mile and for the urban cargo delivery. It just depends that you deliver a solution that actually works and is also be able to roll out on the market.
Thank you for your reply, Stefan. Would anyone want to add to that? Okay, I'll continue. Peter's question, competition is very hard nowadays. Maybe COVID caused. For an example, in Horizon 2020, there were over 1,500 proposals submitted. for a certain project for okay, I can't fully clarify what it says. What is your plan to ensure excellent scoring over 13 points on the proposals? What is in it for you? And what do you charge to lead a proposal development? So Peter, I will just say regarding specific pricing in the business model, it varies and it really depends on the project, depends on the budget requested. Those are things that we will discuss with each specific potential partner. But Odelia, would you like to respond to how do we ensure excellent scoring?
I think that the main question is kind of a disappointment of Horizon because of the very low chances of success. We are aware of that, and we are hoping that within Horizon Europe, the changements that have been established will help out with this. We know, for example, that the EAC accelerator has a new setting, and I hope that this new setting will enable some a better selection and highest chances of success. Regarding what we can do in order to ensure excellence, I can only say that we are doing our best. We are learning by experience. We have led some very successful projects until now. We are learning from the good and bad experiences. We are developing every day a methodology in order to bring the project to the best they can. And therefore, we are also it is very important for us, the commitment of all the partners and our commitment to each project. The best we can do in order to bring the success and the funding.
Thank you, Odelia. Okay, Caroline is asking, Mazzaro is a Belgian technology company that makes electric drivelines 17% more efficient, which has been officially proven. Would that be relevant to Sitcar?
Well, as I mentioned, obviously the drivetrain and drive lines are important for this project. So I think we should definitely talk, yes.
Okay, great. So
yeah, first link done.
Okay, I have a follow-up question from Marcus in the chat asking, is partly automated or even driveless operation an option? Did you hear my question?
Yes, it is an option, but I think it would extend the scope of this project a lot. So it is possible, but then we would have to limit it in some other aspects, I think, because the autonomous driving or driverless driving needs lots of research still, I think, also within city limits. I think it's possible, but then the scope would change slightly.
What I would say is that during the next 2 months, the concept of the project will develop itself. And the development will be influenced by your contribution, meaning that Stefan and his team has a certain initiative. Drive TLV, for example, if they are joining, they will provide, and then the scope will change. Then if you want to bring out this application of autonomous driving, then this could be one of the work packages, one of the direction. The call is quite open for different application, and while we receive the contribution of all the partners, then we will build out the concept. Therefore, I invite you, when you receive the mail of Ava after this event, play the game, answer the question, because if you push your contribution, then it will be the first online to be taken into consideration for the project.
Thank you, Odelia. indeed, we will create the initial communication through the email. I'm seeing a lot of questions regarding that in the chat. We will be sending follow-up emails to everyone who registered for this event. We have your emails, so we can definitely get in touch in that way. Okay, that goes for Dan Langford, who is building a mobility community in Scotland, hoping to be like EcoMotion. Let me know what you need and I will find a Scottish collaborator. Wonderful, Dan. We will be in touch with you via email. And same goes for Lars. Okay.
But we really need to save all those comments to make sure we have them in mind.
We will. Okay, I have a question from Marcus. How about security, authentication, handover, payment, etc.? Those are very general. Maybe Marcus, maybe write in more detail what exactly you're referring to under security, authentication. Okay, we'll give him a second.
I want to add something regarding the previous question of the chances of success. I would like to say one more thing about our expertise and what and how we work. Eitan here, that is also working with me. We are currently working on learning all the previous funded project in the specific field in order to build out all the best advice to build up a successful project. We are working very carefully, learning everything we can in order to provide the best guidelines, also for the consortium establishment and the project establishment. We're working step by step, taking into consideration the contingencies, but also establishing our evidence.
Thank you, Odelia. Okay, I do have more clarification from Marcus regarding that question. So how about security, authentication, handover, payment, etc.? And then the general handling and processes with security aspects, making sure that the right parcel pallet is arriving at the right location and is handed over correctly, including documentation. That's a question for Stefan.
Yes, I think it's a two-sided thing. One, obviously, there's a logistics service provider that will be running the vehicle. They already have their own systems implemented. You know, if you receive a parcel from DHL today, it's not the driver who thought of, or the car maker who thought of the process. On the other hand, I think there's also possibilities on collaboration there to further extend into this project as well. But I think it's more of an aspect how to get the vehicle safe and also get the pallet handling safe and easy to handle, which will be something we will have to solve with this project. And one idea there is actually to use a robotic solution so that you don't have to manhandle it, but you can have a kind of little robotic drivetrain.
Thank you. I hope that answers your question, Marcus. I'm not seeing anything more in the chat. Ali, Sven, I'll be replying to you privately what you asked regarding Athletes 21. Ali is asking regarding a certain call on Horizon, new delivery methods and business operating models to green the last mile and optimize road transport. Thank you. That's the one. Is it considered to involve autonomy as well, or just cleaner modes such as electrification, lightweight design, ergonomics, etc.? And in case autonomous mobility is added, what is the considered SAE level to conduct? So someone asked a question about autonomous vehicles, but I think this is sort of a broader question. Odelia, would you like to reply to that, or anyone else from the panel would like to take this question?
I think it was more for Stefan, no?
Well, the question is it possible to integrate autonomous vehicles? And Stefan answered a question.
We have addressed.
I think we had a similar question before.
Yeah.
I think autonomous driving will be something we can definitely also think of, as I mentioned. It's not something we had in mind initially because we saw that we would take it step by step. Also, since the funding is limited at around 7 to 8 million, I think we have to be careful. But if we can develop in this way or in this direction, that's also, like I mentioned before, possible.
Thanks, Stefan. Okay, the next question I have from Andre. Do you see a sufficient room within this call for EIC Accelerator for mobility service providers, e-roaming services? Is this the profile of companies who can normally apply for such a call?
Yes, definitely. The EIC Accelerator is a bottom-up call, so it's open for all the fields. The criteria in order to apply for the EIC Accelerator are not topic related, but are more related to the stage of technological advancement, about the readiness of the project, the commercialization strategy, but also the innovation level of the product. We can provide a first evaluation, a pre-analysis of your ability to submit, and we will be happy to do that. So please, after the event, write us and we will do that.
Thanks, Odelia. I think that's it for the questions at the moment. I'm not seeing any more. Oh, one just popped up from Sven. How does Horizon Europe mobility relates to the European Commission's EIT?
The EIT is another track also funded by the European Commission. There is the EIT mobility sector that has also a few calls. I don't have them all in mind right now, but if you're interested in, please write us and we will drill down to these calls as well.
Right. In any case, we will be following up. So any of these additional questions, we'd be happy to answer privately. So I think that sums up the questions we have at the moment. Odelia?
Yeah. Thank you very much. I'm really sorry again for this thing, but I hope we will have the chance to work together to discuss. I hope that through this meeting we will be able to create a lot of connections that will bring out successful projects. So we will keep in touch, and thank you again.
Thank you.
Thank you, Odelia. Thank you, panelists. We'll be in touch with everyone.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye.